Hello! Slightly more alive today-ish. It's day 24 of our lockdown blog, and it is April the 13th today. It's Easter Monday, and we are sort of back in the swing of things, filming this at a slightly more sensible time of a bit past 10, not sure quite what time, but a bit past 10, which is about sensible.
A logical time that you would film this sort of thing, normally.
Yeah. End of the day, but not like ridiculous in the morning, yeah. So hi guys. So yeah, yesterday's was a bit mental. Thankfully Puppet's doing loads better today, so we're able to leave her alone for a bit because she's just having a chill and a sleep, but she's sort of, I wouldn't go so far as to say mobile, but she is sort of able to sort of get herself about to where she wants to be lying and eating and peeing. So she can be left for a bit. So although we'll keep an eye on her, we don't have to be there absolutely all the time.
I feel like we're getting a bit more used to the situation as well.
Yeah.
Because I think my dad said, I was saying she needed sort of a near constant kind of care or supervision. And my dad said it was a bit like having to stay out with a newborn baby.
Yeah.
But I think the major difference with that is you kind of get 9 months warning.
Yes.
That you can kind of not make any major plans around the time that's going to happen because you know you're going to be preoccupied.
To be fair, not like we've got a lot of plans going on at the moment anyway.
Well, we did have some plans. They weren't major plans. I mean, not like holidays or a house move, but you kind of go, oh, this is what we're going to do this week, and then it all goes out the window. Yeah. Whereas if you have a baby, you don't plan anything.
You don't make plans.
You just go, right.
The plan is baby.
Baby, that's what we'll do. That next 18 years, and then that's fine, isn't it? You kind of.
Yeah, I think that's basically it. Yeah.
Cool.
I think eventually get some time off when they're at school, but that's about it. Like, yeah. I intend to just sleep all day when the kids are in school. I'll get up to school, and then go to bed.
Unfortunate for you, I don't support the British school system, so I'm going to have them homeschooled.
Oh, okay, you'll be busy then. Because I ain't homeschooling my kids.
No, but they will be quite noisy, so they will keep you up. That's a complete lie. Both my parents are teachers, I think.
I forgot about that. There's going to be a lot of people offended by that.
A lot of teachers do a wonderful job, and I think, like the education system, like any other, there's things you could probably tinker with.
Just saying that to fuck with me then, really. Yeah, fine. All right, cool. Well, we'll, as we said, we'll have a bit of time to plan for that. But yeah, so we've just kind of had to be sort of winging it for the last few days. But yeah, thankfully she seems okay today. And tomorrow we're due to go back to take her to the vet anyway, because that's when she's supposed to have her checkup with the people who actually did the operation, because the people who changed her dressing yesterday were different emergency vets. So all, fingers crossed, is currently okay on the Puppet front, and I am aware of how much I talk about her, so I'm going to try not to. So yes, that's what's going on there. I will mention though, I did sleep on the floor last night, so I'm a bit sore today, but I think I did sleep better than I would have if I'd been sort of coming and going, so that was good. And I think also she settled better, so that was good. Although, yeah, I did sleep on the floor, so I hurt. But there we go. That's my own fault. So I think we can leave that there. So also, as another sign that things are back to normal, that's happening, and I'm very happy about it.
Oh, I completely forgot to get a cider.
Oh, you idiot.
Oh, that was my plan.
You idiot.
It's all gone wrong for me.
Yeah, you're going to have to wait, like
27 minutes.
Yeah.
This is the absolute worst.
Do you want some wine?
This is the worst thing that's ever happened to anyone. I'll see how thirsty I get.
This is the worst thing that's ever happened to anyone.
Yep, including us in recent memory.
Okay, and everything that's going on in the real world right now? Yep. Okay.
25 minutes for a cider.
Unbelievable.
Might not even want one then.
You will though, won't you? So what have we been up to today?
Today I watched a video from eminent scientist Dean Burnett.
Right. Who's that?
I say eminent scientist. I used to know him from when he was doing stand-up, which he doesn't do so much anymore, but he's a very funny man, but he's also a very well-qualified science man, and he writes...
Scientist?
For the Guardian website.
Right.
And he's had a couple of books out called The Idiot Brain and The Happy Brain.
Oh, I think I've heard of that book. I don't know Dean... Is it Burnett or Burnett?
Dean Burnett.
Burnett.
And I actually supported him when he did a solo show.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and he's a really nice guy as well, but very smart.
So what was the video?
So he did the latest in a string of videos that he's been doing. I think it's the third one. And this video was basically debunking the myth that 5G is causing
good.
coronavirus, which
that whole thing
is bad science.
It's not science. It's not bad science.
No,
it's just
that's
bollocks.
True.
Like
it
that's
barely
just
approaches science. It's
but
kind of
how you don't have to have any scientific knowledge really to know that viruses probably aren't going to be transmitted over radio waves.
No, but Ellie, you see, you don't understand the vibrations of the 5G lower our immune systems because they're so fast.
Right. So wouldn't we all be getting sick with lots of things?
Yeah, like the vibrations of the sun are actually faster. But Dean explains this in more detail and very amusingly on his...
I'm going to do it musically.
Yeah, well, sorry, Dean, I've really set the bar quite high then for people. But yeah, and you can find... he's done a string of the... I think the previous one he did was why it's okay to let your teenagers stay in bed.
Oh, okay.
During
don't
lockdown.
Teenagers need a lot more sleep?
They do, and also you don't want to interrupt them having a wank. That's awful for everyone. So just
is that the scientific reason?
I haven't watched the video. I'm assuming that's the main thrust of his argument. So leave your teenagers in bed, but you can find his videos if you want to check them out. The best way to do that is probably to search for Omnishambles, which is a kind of it was on YouTube. I found this, but Omnishambles is a kind of collective of people, including Robin Ince and Josie Long, who are putting out various bits of entertainment and information.
Was coined by the thick of it.
Yes, very possibly, but I think they've co-opted it.
Yeah,
first.
no, I like it. That sounds right up my street. So yeah, I will watch those with you. Don't watch those on your own, you cheeky bugger.
Tim Minchin involved with that as well.
Oh, even better.
So check those out. Those are very good.
All right, yeah, I will. But you've already watched some of them now, so
I've watched that one.
Okay.
Blinky neck. And also we've been
a minute ago, literally a few minutes ago, he was saying how nice it was that we were able to spend some time together again. How long did that last before you were like, oh god?
That was before you turned into a theatre director.
Ah.
And
was it helpful?
It was fun.
Was it helpful?
And it was helpful.
Yeah. Did you do a better performance than you would have done without me?
Yeah.
This man is a comedian.
Hello.
I am a drama graduate, and when it comes to delivering a bit of stuff to camera, it shows.
I mean, between the two of us though, one of us is a drama graduate and the other one a mere comedian. But who is it that gets offered the acting roles?
I bet I could get offered acting roles if I wanted to.
No, that is not. I mean, that is not an indictment of.
Hey guys, anyone want me to do any acting?
I feel
quite well trained.
I feel like you've taken that in the wrong spirit. I was trying to say that it's silly that I get offered acting things when you're qualified and I'm just a mug who's a bit
that
wooden.
is not how that came across at all.
Really?
Yeah.
No, that's what I was going for. It's like,
that very much came up with like, well, you think you know what you're doing, but I'm the one getting the acting gigs.
Oh well. This is, again, why I shouldn't be doing any acting. Because I do not even know how my words are coming across in real life, let alone when I'm trying to perform lines. We should explain what we're talking about, though. Probably. No, let's leave them guessing. No, okay.
That's not how this works.
No. I mean...
Just fill in the blanks, guys. We'll just sit here and have a chat amongst ourselves.
Yeah. If we didn't want people to know our every thought and activity, we'd stop putting them out on the internet, wouldn't we?
Not our every thought.
Well...
There's some that I keep to myself.
Do you have other thoughts outside of this?
Yeah.
You kept that quiet?
Yeah.
Well.
No, I probably say them and you just don't listen.
Plausible.
We have since lockdown. This is another thing that I've
that's...
noticed that is quite. Oh, I love it. It's quite funny. But you have maybe you've always done it and it hasn't been as noticeable. But since we've been locked in together, you two tune me out. Like the number of times I will say something and then a few minutes later you'll ask me the thing that I've just said, and I'm like, I literally just said that, and you said yes. You said and yeah, I'm just very aware that I'd be like, okay, so I'm just gonna upload this, and then shall we watch Red Dwarf or whatever? And you'd be like, yeah, okay, cool. And then 5 minutes later, you'd be like, so you're gonna finish that, and then shall we watch Red Dwarf? And I'm like, yes, what a good idea.
I've never been a good I think I'm a good listener. If you had a problem and you needed to talk,
if it was an engaged conversation,
then I could do that. But my mind is all over the place.
I know. The thing that I find irksome about it, though, is the responding to me as though you were listening to me. Because then I'm like, we've covered this.
But the thing is, it's not even like that's a deliberate... I'm not going, I'm not really
No,
listening,
you're just filling in the blanks. Yeah, you're filling in the blanks and just going, that sounds like the right noise I should make right now. Well, you're not really thinking.
Yeah, but no, that's it. It's not a choice. I'm not going like, I'll say that. That sounds like the sort of thing she wants to hear. And then I literally am not aware that there's been a conversation at the end of that. Dear, it's not good. It's not good.
Yeah,
but,
I think that's a lockdown thing.
I think this is one of the reasons why people should be allowed out of the house and not be in each other's pockets. Although that said, it is true. I was saying earlier that since Poppet has been ill, we have been sort of taking it in turns to watch her and taking different shifts to get some sleep or get some food or whatever.
Yeah, we
haven't
had
much time together, and that time that we have had together, quite a lot of it has been fretting about a cat and things like that. So it's been quite nice. Now Poppet's in a slightly better place where I feel a bit more relaxed about it.
Saying she's in a better place sounds horrible.
I didn't mean that.
Now that she's in a better place.
No.
Yeah, the back bedroom.
So, now she's in the back. She's got her own studio apartment, guys. She's still not happy.
No, she's still really pissed off.
But we converted a whole room for her. So, now that she's feeling a bit better, and I feel like, this is a thing we're going to look back and laugh on, and we were able to kind of, we were in the room with her, weren't we, doing this thing? But it was fun. Basically, what it is, it was nice to spend some quality time with you, is what I'm saying.
Should we have picked something where I wasn't bossing you around quite so much for the first bit of quality time?
I think what it was is I sort of said I'd get this done over the weekend, and I was a bit behind, and because we'd been so preoccupied with Poppet.
Yeah,
I hope the people who asked me to do this aren't watching, but I slightly was like, I just want to get this done and out of the way. It was going to be a fun thing, but now I don't think it's going to be a fun thing, so let's get it done. Yeah. Whereas I think if we hadn't had everything else going on, we'd had a bit more time,
been able to sort of focus on it and enjoy doing it.
I'd have embraced it a bit more as an activity.
Than an obligation.
Yeah. But obligation is too strong a word, but I did enjoy doing it, and I was very happy to be asked, and it was fun in the end.
I think it was fun. I think you were just sort of, it felt like, it's another thing I've got to do.
And and you were a bit more perfectionist about it than I was, but nonetheless, that was probably the right attitude. And that's why in the other video we made a couple of weeks ago, one of the reasons why your performances are better is you did like a couple of takes and sort of stopped and paused and regrouped, and I just went, right, let's plough through, and the minute I get roughly the right words in roughly the right order, that'll do.
But I think
it's a learning
To be fair though, I don't think that's actually necessarily even a sort of something that's... I think it just helps having an outside eye, because if you're just performing to camera... and you don't watch it back. I have to watch everything back. And I am a perfectionist with anything, but I will do several takes and pick my favourite always. But if you have got an outside eye, it's so much more helpful when you are putting together anything, because it's like when you write something, getting someone else to proofread it is better, because when you proofread your own writing, you read what you think you've written. You don't notice the sort of mistakes because you're reading it in your intonation and the way you meant it, whereas somebody else looking at it going, that doesn't scan. So I think it's the same sort of thing. So having an external eye does help, but I am probably a bit of a perfectionist director going, no, we're doing that again. No. But it was fun. I hope you thought it was fun, because I did. It was fun. Just filming a little bit of like in character stuff. You didn't have a lot of information on the character, so we didn't really explain worked on that together.
What it was.
Yeah, no, we didn't.
It's basically it was a LARPing. Someone's doing like LARPing live action role play, like a virtual LARPing event. They're having a sort of adventure or something.
I didn't really know what it was for. I just knew it was a LARPing thing.
I don't have a lot of context for what it was. I basically was given my bit of script. And I also kind of saw, because it was on the same thing, 4 other people's bits of script. And it was basically videos sort of asking for you to vote for a thing. But I don't know what the wider story is. I don't know. It's just like, I guess it's like if you do like a voiceover for a video game or something and you just get given your lines to read and you don't really know the plot of anything. It's just a kind of a job of work. But it was fun, and I hope that the people who see it enjoy it and enjoy their virtual LARPing experience. I don't want to say. I feel like I might sound a bit dismissive, but I'm not being dismissive of it. I just don't know enough about it to talk with any.
I'm
kind
quite
of
curious as to what it
or...
is because it sounds. Well, I wouldn't want to actually say what it's about in case it's all sort of on the hush hush. So actually, I won't say. But it sounded quite interesting and would be something that I would be quite curious as to what the actual greater story is on that.
Yes.
Just in case you want. Yeah, there you go. There's a Lucy Ghost.
Hello, Lucy. Yeah, it's good. You're a part of it now.
Yeah. She's been very confused because we've been mainly locked in the room that we basically never go in. It's the room that I do my makeup in, but that is it, and it's full of junk normally. But as I said yesterday, all of the junk has been removed, so we've been sitting in an unusual room with the door shut, and that has been very confusing.
It's not fair, is it?
No.
Not fair, not letting you in. But,
so we did that. So that was the first sort of bit of something we'd managed to do today that was a bit of quality time, which I did enjoy doing. And then, then we had a brief hiatus where I had a bath and you watched probably that Dean Burnett thing or something else that you did while I was in the bath. And then we did another virtual quiz, which was really fun. This time, our friend Elle live streamed it. Which was perfect for us because she was sort of active and doing it and we could watch it, but we could just sort of type because we were locked in the room with Poppet, keeping an eye on things there. So it was kind of ideal that we could kind of keep an eye on what's going on, but also keep an eye on what's going on there. And that was really fun. It did descend into chaos, I think it's fair to say, and I think Elle would agree on that, but it was fun. And so yeah, I think I quite like this slightly more casual attitude towards quizzing. I think I prefer this to pub quizzing.
I think a lot of people...
I would prefer the prizes in pub quiz, but this had a prize. It was £10 to the charity of your choice, to the winner, which I thought was a nice... and also £5 to the charity of your choice to the best team name. But she hasn't announced who got that yet, but I don't think it's ours.
That's fine. Screw him.
I think the forerunner at the time was Quarantina Turner, which I think is quite good.
That's not bad. It's not bad. I feel like a lot of people are going to be doing many more quizzes in the past 3 weeks than they have in the previous 5 years.
Yeah, I quite like the picture quiz things that are going around. There's a lot of those. I am getting slightly fed up of the Facebook riddles because actually the few that I have partaken in have had stupid answers that, like, it was like, that's not, like, the riddle has to really work and it doesn't have, like, some sort of, like, oh, no, actually, it was, I was like, no.
It was a trick,
like,
but
it's
actually
a trick.
It depends how you're looking at it.
Yeah, I don't like, it has to be a clear, clever answer, as far as I'm concerned.
The thing that I don't like about them, and not to have a go at anyone who's kind of sharing them, because it basically it's a harmless bit of fun at the end of the day, but for my personal taste, what I don't like is the obligatory...
Now that you've done it, you'll have to...
Like, you did it, so now you've got to share it and pass it on.
Do you know what? I just do them and I just don't share them.
Yeah.
I keep doing that, and I just don't share them. I like to play, I don't like to pass them on. Because it's the same as far as I'm concerned of share if you agree, and I bet no one will share this. Like, don't be passive aggressive. Like, I'll share it if I want to, but now that you've said that, I can guarantee I'm not going to share it because it really pisses me off.
Which is a shame, because it was a really cogent argument about the current internal strife in the Labour Party and why the Conservative government has been going wrong and the NHS deserves more funding. But they opened it with, I bet no one will share this, so we didn't share it, did we?
Fuck them.
Fuck them.
Should we talk about some vaguely sensible stuff?
I think we should talk about
don't know.
Boris Johnson.
Yeah, let's talk about Boris Johnson.
He's made his return to public life.
He's gone away to rest in Chequers, actually.
Oh,
but
yes,
he has
made
been
a
seen
speech.
Since
Well, he's made a speech, hasn't he?
hospital.
So that, and given that we can't actually all go out in public anyway, I think making a speech that we can see on our televisions or our phones or whatever is about a public return as you can manage under the circumstances. And we did touch on it briefly yesterday that he's out of the woods with the old COVID-19.
I totally forgot.
Believe for him. And he made a speech where he thanked the NHS staff that had helped him and talked about how important the NHS was. And
he did say that he owed them his life, which I thought was quite a bold statement.
He did.
True, but bold.
Also kind of thanked the public for helping to protect the NHS by staying indoors, all that kind of thing. What he didn't do at any point, I noticed, and don't get me wrong, the NHS, the people who work there, I'm sure they were glad of the thank you, and particularly the ones who were kind of singled out for praise. I'm sure that was a nice moment for them.
I thought that was interesting.
And that's great, and I don't want to take that away from them, but I did notice he was very quick to kind of thank the NHS. He didn't know at any point apologise for any previous underfunding or make any guarantees of further funding. He sort of thanked us for helping the NHS, cope. He didn't acknowledge that in some places they aren't really coping as well as they could be, and it sort of seemed like the onus was on us to keep helping the NHS rather than the government actually funding them properly. And
well, that sounds about right for the Conservative Party line. And further to that actually leads me on to something that I wanted to mention, which we haven't actually discussed, but I'm assuming you will have seen it because it's sort of been doing the rounds. Not today's, I think it was the day before yesterday, Priti Patel did one of the daily press briefings and said the beautiful phrase, "I am sorry if people feel that there has not been enough PPE provided to the NHS." To which, quite rightly, everybody has pointed out, "I'm sorry if you feel" is not an apology. I'm sorry there has not been enough PPE in some circumstances is suitably apologetic, but acknowledges that there was a problem. But I think Priti Patel does not do humble or empathetic or compassionate and is a smug, cruel, vile bitch of a woman, and I can't stand her, and I really, really quite potently hate her.
She is the worst, and something bad needs to happen to her directly so she gets some sort of humility or understands that anyone can be brought low and it's not just, she seems like one of those who just thinks like anyone who isn't having a great life probably isn't working hard enough.
Yeah, I genuinely think she might well be an actual sociopath, because she also doesn't really seem to understand or give a shit about whether or not she's seen to be doing good at her job. She just has the job, has a level of entitlement to it, and basically tells everybody else to fuck off.
Well, she seems to think that she deserves to be there, and I'm sorry she feels that way.
I'm sorry she feels that way. I'm sorry she is. That's it.
I think, therefore I am. What's Priti Patel's excuse?
She has none. It
No.
is Priti Patel is inexcusable. And yeah, I don't know why, but particularly she makes my blood boil. And they all do. But there's something about the sort of slightly like, smug, better than you. I literally, like, she's not even playing the game. She doesn't. She's not spinning it. She's just flagrantly being a horrible person.
I think you don't like her because she's a woman. Whereas
I don't think that's it.
I'm a feminist, so I think she's no worse than the other major Tory. I think she's probably no worse than Gove or Rees-Mogg or Johnson. But you really don't like.
I don't like any of them, but there's something, and I'm not going to take the bait on that.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's that she doesn't pretend that she's trying to do her job properly. She's not covering her tracks about basically shirking her responsibility. For example, she is the Home Secretary, so that's a pretty important job. And one of the main things that she needs to be doing as part of that is corresponding and meeting with all of the heads of all government departments across the country. And this, we should be in absolute panic stations. The government should be directly communicating with all of the civil service and the military and everyone else. And she has been to, since she was appointed in, I think, late September or early October, she's been to one meeting. One. And this has all been kicking off, and they sort of said, since this is an urgent situation, we're having a meeting, I think on the 15th of April, they said. So they've given her plenty of time, because it's the 13th now, and this was last week. She said, I would hope to attend a meeting by the end of the month.
Yeah, she's basically been invited to attend and declined to attend important government meetings. Like, I mean, either you're an essential worker doing an essential government job, or you're not, and we can just not have a Home Secretary and save the £80,000 a year.
I'm pretty sure we need a Home Secretary.
In fact, if you're probably a cabinet
pretty sure we
minister,
don't need Priti Patel to
more money again, isn't it?
Oh yeah, if you get in the cabinet, you get a nice little bump up.
So if she doesn't feel that she's necessary, then fine, stay home, and we'll quit.
Protect the NHS. Stay home.
Yes.
Save lives, Priti Patel. Quit your job.
Yes, and the government can save your wage and funnel it into
fuck the
PPE.
fuck off and fuck off while you're at it.
But
I don't know why I don't know why she bothers me as much as she does, because they are all awful. There's something about her demeanour about it. She's not even
that she
pretending.
Doesn't even seem to try or pretend. But I'm not sure if that's better or worse than someone who's being entirely disingenuous.
I guess it's honest.
Yeah.
That's normally a good thing. It's it's the disdain with which she's sort of
she's honest about.
Yeah. I really, really don't like her. And so I feel. I'm sorry if you feel there have been failings. Like, that's bullshit. And essentially, like, those failings have directly caused deaths of people that are unnecessary.
Yes,
not just the deaths of the public, deaths of workers who rely on the government to protect them at work. They are working for the government, they are working for all of us, and they are getting sick and dying. I'm sorry if you feel is bullshit and it spits on everyone who is trying their absolute best.
Yeah, these are not trivial failures, are they?
No, this is not sort of things that we can quibble over. I just I
tell you what has surprised me today.
What?
I've been seeing on Facebook about some of these things, and people have been pretty I've not really seen many people defending Priti Patel, but I have seen people who's usually reasonable, intelligent people whose heads really seem to have been turned by this sort of supposedly stirring Boris Johnson speech.
They bought it. They
were
just
I didn't like him before, but you know what? I'm going to give him a chance going forward. No, I know, yeah, exactly. And it's really weird.
Maybe I need to watch it again. I did not get that from it.
Really bizarre. And then when you kind of challenge them on it and they go, well, it's all very well being an ideologue, almost kind of trying to imply that, you're just living by an ideology and so you just hate the Tories or Boris without thinking because that is what your ideology is. And it's like, that's not exactly the system, right?
You just served up a bunch of platitudes.
Well, this is it. Like, I don't hate...
If you'd come up and said, my eyes have been opened, I am deeply regretful of decisions that have been made by myself and my colleagues, we will do things differently in future, that I would have gone, fair play, Boris, well done. But that is not what you did.
But here's and
it's not what he's gonna do.
I am I don't hate Boris Johnson and the Tories because of some sort of mindless ideology. I hate Boris Johnson and the Tories because of years of evidence and information about things they've actually said and done.
Because of the things they do.
I am willing to kind of take on board new evidence and information.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the only new information that's come to light is a speech that is largely full of platitudes, as you say, and I don't feel like that outweighs the previous information and evidence of them being wrong-uns, right? And even if they'd made the speech that you suggested there, that would be an improvement, it'd be a step in the right direction, but until you've followed up on that in quite a big way, it doesn't outweigh all the deaths that you've already been directly responsible for. I mean, NHS workers were writing articles saying things like this before COVID-19 even happened.
People have been
Boris
pleading with
Johnson was
them.
directly responsible for deaths.
Back in 2017 or 2016, recent years, but a few years ago, I think the World Health Organization and a few other big scientific organizations pleaded. One of those, with global governments across the world, including ours, saying a global pandemic will happen and you need to prepare for it. That's been known and knowledgeable. They thought maybe that was going to be the case when it was Ebola, and thankfully they got on top of that very quickly and it didn't take off, because it could have done, because its transmission rate was even higher than COVID. It just, they caught it in time and got it in time. SARS could have been, but it didn't do the human-to-human transmission in the same way that this one did. But basically, they've known it's coming because that's the nature of disease and nature of viruses and bacteria. And so, because we've also got the same issue with antibiotic-resistant bacteria, we're going to have massive issues with something coming along with that. But viruses are particularly sneaky because you don't necessarily develop immunity to them in the same way that you do with a lot of things, because they mutate so rapidly. Like you can get the flu multiple times because it mutates. So it's the flu virus, but it'll be a different generation of the flu virus, which unfortunately probably going to happen with COVID-19. So hopefully they will come up with a vaccine that is effective to this strain, and they get on top of how it breeds and mutates, which I will trust the scientific community to do their best with that, but we should be funding it better, and we should be funding our health services across the world better.
And the idea that people are just kind of going along with this Boris speech, in which he has made no promises and made no apologies, and I would love to believe that he had, leapt out of bed a changed man and was now going to move forward in the world and doing his best to kind of help and protect every one of us. But this is not a Christmas carol, and none of us are getting a turkey. It's not happening.
Not even the really big one from the window.
Not even the really big one from the window. The one as big as me, sir. That's the one.
No, yes.
We're not. We're not getting it. Boris isn't buying us turkeys, and
I don't actually want a turkey, but let's have a figurative turkey, Boris.
Stop drinking the Kool-Aid. Remember how many Tory MPs, voted against pay rises
for nurses,
for the NHS nurses.
They clapped.
And clapped and cheered when the motion didn't go through. So, I mean...
What a bunch of bastards.
That's as good a point as any to end on, probably, is it? We've run out of time either way, so it better be.
What a bunch of bastards.
What a bunch of bastards.
See ya!
Bye!